Welcome back. You're still tuned into this special show. We're in conversation with the management of IHH Healthcare. Now, what I am gathering is that you're extremely bullish on the India story, the India healthcare story when it comes to hospitals as well as diagnostics for IHH. You're not looking to sell out your stake in Fortis either. Give us a sense in terms of the expansion plans that you have in India. You have around over 30 facilities,
34
facilities
between our two assets. Yeah. So, I've been on record as saying India is a fantastic market for growth in healthcare, right? Even the government, I noticed, I was looking at some of the budget statements and all that, they're also pumping more money into healthcare. So I think there's a general lifting of the whole healthcare industry. But India, private healthcare will always be very big, right? And supported by payers as well, right? So we see India, right, as probably our biggest growth market. India's got all the secular trends, right, that favor this, right? And we know that increasingly affluent population, middle income, maybe the largest middle income population in the world, 300, 400 million people, right? Chronic diseases, unfortunately, genetically, there are lots of chronic diseases in India as well. Payers, all right, increasing payer market. And here you have got everything from civil service insurance to government insurance schemes to local private to international insurance. More and more expatriates come into the Bupas, the AXA PPPs, they're all here. So we see all of them in India, right? So I think payer market. So these are all the factors that I think would be very good for growth. So we intend to ride that growth, right? And we currently are in 12 of the 28 Indian states.
Okay.
That's slightly less than half. So that gives you an indication of how we can expand, right? For example, Gleneagles is predominantly in the south. They can expand further down to Kerala, to Karnataka, to Telangana. They can expand there. Fortis is predominantly a northern hospital group, right? There's some sharing in Mumbai and Bangalore, right? But expansion will take place there. You can still expand within tier 1 cities. That's a question I'm always asked. Would you go down to tier 2, tier 3?
Yeah.
I say there are still opportunities in tier 1. Manesar recently was a very good example because the tier 1 cities are also expanding.
Correct.
Look at NCR, right? And look at Mumbai, right?
But along with that comes a lot of competition as well. You've seen private equity pump in around $5.5 billion just in 1 year, and record deals which are taking place in the private equity side. With that, there's a lot of competition which is rising in the private healthcare space. How do you think IHH is going to combat that?
So I've always told my team, if there's competition, it's good. You don't want to go into an uncompetitive market, right? Competition is good up to a certain point, right? So fine, we have got very strong competitors, but we are standing on our own, right? And we are doing well. Fortis today is not just in tier 1 cities. If you look at Punjab, Amritsar, Mohali, Chandigarh, we are very big there as well. So we are already in some significant tier 2 cities. And a tier 2 city in India is like a metropolis in other countries. It's a huge population. We have people who can afford healthcare. So we will look, we are not restricting ourselves just to the tier 1 cities. We will look at the good tier 2 cities. For example, if Gleneagles is going to go south, all right, it can go to Kerala. In Tamil Nadu, we are only in Chennai. We can go to Coimbatore. These are all hubs as well, industrial hubs, business hubs, right? So I think these are our plans. We think there are lots of opportunities.
Okay, so 4,000 beds is what you have currently. What would you like to increase it to? That's Fortis only.
Fortis will grow by another 2,000 beds in the next 5 years. Brownfield expansion. All right, this is the best form of expansion. Same store growth, Fortis will increase. All right. If we do some acquisitions along the way, we will add another 1,000, 2,000, right? And that's why I said between the two, we'll probably have about 10,000 beds in a few years' time.
Okay. About acquisitions, what is your plan when it comes to acquisitions in the Indian hospital market? Because it's ripe.
Yeah, it is.
But the valuations are high.
Yeah, but I tell you, Ekta, we are very, very disciplined about acquisitions, right? Because firstly, we have so much opportunity in all our current hospitals to increase their capacities. And that's the best, right? You get immediate operating leverage. If I put 100 beds in a 200-bed hospital, my utilization of ICUs, my utilization of operating theaters of the machine goes up immediately, all right? Right? Occupancy goes up. So that's the best form, and we are committed to that. That's the first thing. For a strategic acquisition or a big acquisition to take place, we've got several criteria, all right? Firstly, it must be in a market or in an area, of course, there must be significant demand, right? Of course, we look at the competitive situation. We want to get facilities that are of the highest clinical quality. We put a lot of emphasis on patient outcomes, right? We've got, at the group level, we've got an entire medical group that looks at the quality in all our hospitals globally. So that's very important if you look at our acquisitions, right? Thirdly, of course, it must be accretive, right? Within 2 or 3 years, right? So, and we recently made an acquisition in Penang. You must have read about it, right? It's almost 1 billion.
Yes.
Island Hospital, which adds a lot of value because it's a medical tourism hub. So we would also be looking at similar, right, kind of acquisitions in India.
So is that a space of growth that you're looking at, medical tourism in India, which Fortis is probably going to bank on?
India is a medical tourism hub, right?
Okay.
Why? Because there's good work done at very cost-effective rates. India is probably one, from a value-based healthcare perspective, India is right up there.
So the valuations don't matter. I mean, is it a deterrent at all, considering that we're around 25, 30 times in terms of some assets as compared to other Asian hospitals, which are anywhere between 10 to 20 times?
Yeah. Well, every deal that we look at is different. All right. It's not just valuations, right? Okay. I mentioned all the criteria, so we will look at it. If it's value accretive to us, or we can in a few years after that, all right, make it value accretive, then we will definitely look at it.
What's the size that you'd be looking at? How much are you looking to shell out for an acquisition?
We shelled out 1 billion recently. IHH has got considerable.
For an Indian asset.
Well, we have got the capability to do significant acquisitions.
Okay, all right. But while you are very bullish on the Indian hospital market, there is also the Supreme Court, which is probably looking at maybe even regulation of pricing.
Yes.
That is a possible deterrent. What's your view on that?
Okay, healthcare is a very regulated industry in all the markets that we operate. Price controls, India has had it for a long time in the drug area, right? Other countries, even Singapore, which is quite laissez-faire kind of an economy, has introduced controls on cancer drugs because the prices are so high, it's becoming difficult for the average person in the street to get decent cancer treatment. So they have started controlling things as well. Malaysia has had it as well. Malaysia controls prices for doctors' fees as we do in Singapore. So what I'm trying to say is we operate in a regulated environment for sure. Now, the Supreme Court matter, I believe, was a petition that went up, is being considered. It will take some time. But I believe that it is not possible, right, to have very tight controls on private healthcare simply because you will deter innovation, you will deter technology. I mean, look at Fortis, FMRI. They've just put in the Gamma knife, right? They've just put in the MR Linac, for which obviously there will have to be an uplift in the use of the technology, in the trained physicians. Singapore's just bought the first proton therapy machine, Novena. It's about twice the price of a normal radiation, but it benefits patients. So what I'm saying is the price performance really has to be looked at. I'm not sure where this will go, honestly speaking. And again, this is a litigation matter, so we'll see the outcome. But what I'm trying to say is...
But will it change your plans for India if in case there's regulation of pricing?
No, we are used to regulation in all our countries.
All right, Doctor, thank you very much for joining in and speaking with CNBC TV.
Thank you.
Thanks.